Oh, hey guys, thanks for joining us for this episode of KrawlZone. This time, we're heading back down to southern Utah for the winter 4x4 Jamboree. We're going to take this old girl out on her maiden voyage, plus nobody in his 1948 Jeepster. We're going to have our good friend Tim Ryan, plus we're going out on the trail with our friends from BDS, JKS, and Zone Off-Road. You're going to see that and much more on this episode of KrawlZone, so hold on tight, because KrawlZone is on. KrawlZone!
What's up, Tim Ryan? What's up, Spawn?
Some ice cream.
What's up, nobody?
Nothing.
You may have noticed I wasn't in there because, like, somebody needs to get the shot. Hey guys, wait up! Wait for me! Wait for me! All right, they let me back in. Shoot, they almost drove off without me.
I think it was Matthew's idea.
Was that?
Whisper's beard. Yeah.
Are you the beard whisperer?
It whispers things in your ear too.
Yeah, it whispers stuff in his ear.
It's possessed.
We need an exorcist.
Taking us to the winter 4x4 Jamboree.
4x4 Jamboree, where's that?
Sand Moutain OHV area, and we're going the back way out by Sky Ranch. And
Get the beer. These eargasms are getting out of control. Give us a gas, we're gonna pass this tractor underneath.
Hey man, want to race?
For beats.
Well, we're here at the 6th annual Winter 4x4 Jamboree in Hurricane, Utah. Here we've got a huge event going on, big vendor show. We're nonprofit, okay, and all the proceeds from this event we donate to land use to help keep our trail system open. So to us that's important. I mean, that's why we do this. We've got 170 people, volunteers that help put this event on, and not one of them get $1, including myself. Okay.
Jeff, you worked super hard on this, man. I just wanted to say how sorry I am that nobody showed up.
Whatever.
No, nobody showed up.
Okay, I got it.
So what is so unique about Sand Mountain that other places don't have? Why are we fighting so hard for this particular area?
Well, one, it's open OHV. Our trails are short. We have trails up there for the beginners. We have trails up there for the buggies. And even for the buggies, some of the trails are very challenging. Okay, everything's on a 1 to 10 scale here, and some of the obstacles up there I would put up around a 13 or 14.
Nationally, are there any other off-roading courses like this?
To my knowledge, okay, and I haven't confirmed this, but I've been told that this is one of two. There's only two in the United States that are open OHV, and I don't know if they have a lake like we do. I mean, you come here in the summertime, you can boat during the day, you can wheel at night. You know, we've got the sand, we've got the rocks, we've got the lake. It's just, I mean, you can do anything you want here. You know?
Now, we love Jeff and this event, but Jeff, with the exception of the KrawlZone team, Jeff was our very first fan on Facebook. And so he holds a very special place in our hearts, and he's always been a very big supporter of ours. So thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
Right on it.
Especially for you guys.
Oh, thanks. And especially for everything you're doing for land use and for keeping the mountain open and all that stuff. We know you're fighting hard, you and the rest of the team, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right on. Take care, buddy.
Good to see you guys again.
All right, you too. All right, back to the trail.
see if she sinks on our first voyage.
Old Spawn just got his learner's permit to get a driver's license, so he's excited to drive his Jeep.
Hey, getting just off the sand, we came to this first little outcropping of rocks. You can't even call this an obstacle, but not knowing whether or not I tightened down all the bolts right, I took a ginger. But hey, we made it over it. So far, so good.
Oh man, what a beautiful morning here out at Sand Hollow. We just came up a little hill and got some sun, and I realized I couldn't see through the window, so I got Spawn up here washing windows.
Driver's side looks way better than the passenger side, but...
Well, I need to see more than you do.
Yep. Covered with sand.
Yeah, we'll have to clean it up. Yeah, shoot. Slip yoke came out, so hopefully we don't need to do too much. Well, trail repair. Am I gonna have to take Dad out to go? I don't want that flipping around though. If I take her out of four-wheel drive, that shouldn't spin, right?
I told you it would sink on its first voyage.
Hey, it didn't sink. We're making it home on its own power. We're just in two-wheel drive.
If it wasn't for that, the Jeep would be off.
Well, we pulled up on the trailer and there's a little bit of snow on there and it's just slick as snot, and we're just on a little bit of an angle and the front end of that thing just kind of slid. I was on the brakes and it just kept going and we're about to fall off the trailer.
Have you found a solution yet?
Well, I don't know if it's a solution or not, but we're putting some tie downs to keep it from going that way anymore. Hopefully, in the process, slide up while we back up a little bit. Look at that ice. No wonder we about fell off. Well, I learned my lesson. Don't be putting the Jeep in a snowy trailer. All right, I think we've got it back from the brink enough. We've ratchet strapped it over. We're not hanging off the edge. So I'm gonna try starting it up, backing up a little bit. We're kind of off the snow now. A lot of melting's been happening, so hopefully we can straighten this back up and get on our way to fix our front drive line. Man, it's just one of those days. I got my buddy Tim Ryan here. He's come down. He didn't know he was gonna be the company mechanic. We got a tool. We're going to be taking that whole yoke off. As we noticed before, those little tabs have been broken out. Looks like they've been broken out for a long time before I got the Jeep.
I always work smarter, not harder.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try to get it fixed.
Now, our good friend James Adams always comes prepared to these events because he knows what we're out here to do. Break stuff.
What's up, brother?
Oh man, I need parts, man.
Dana 30 yoke, U-bolts.
Flash or you join. You're good to go. Back on the road. Take care. See you later.
Okay, we're on the road. So James Adams over to Adams Driveshaft hooked us up, so you can see right there. Those little tabs right there is what we need. So it's going to give us the strap type connectors that bolt through. U-joint.
That looks good. That new yoke.
Wish I had some Loctite.
Good.
Just like that. It just fit.
Hey, where's the nuts?
They're not coming nuts.
I hate it when that happens.
You watching KrawlZone?
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Hey, we're here at the Winter 4x4 Jamboree Vendor Show, and we came across a product that some of you hardcore wheelers really might be interested in. It's a trail welder. Check this out.
All right.
That's real cool. Right on. Finish that up. So, David, you're here with Carnage Welder. Tell me a little bit about your welder here.
So our welder is a self-contained, battery-powered MIG welder. It has batteries inside that will give you 20 minutes of welding time on a single charge. It charges in your vehicle as you drive, so you don't have to plug it in at home. If you're out on the Rubicon or out on a multi-day trail, you can charge it for multiple repairs if needed.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about the batteries that are in this thing. How are you able to get 20 minutes of welding?
So we've got 2 deep cycle AGM batteries in there. So they're maintenance free, they're deep cycle. You can drain them down real nice and deep, so we get a nice steady discharge rate. And they really just, it's a hot weld and it's a consistent weld.
Awesome. So what inspired you to make this product?
So we were on the Rubicon last year, and a buddy of ours broke a lower link on his Toyota, and we used another trail welder, and we got the polarity backwards. So the weld failed about an hour later, and so we were thinking, we spent an hour and a half pulling batteries, getting everything ready to weld, and then it failed. So we thought there's got to be a better way. So this thing, you don't have to worry about polarity. It's set. You really have a hard time messing it up. So you turn it on, flip the switch, and you're ready to go.
If somebody wants to check you out or find out how to get one of these, how do they get a hold of you?
We are on Facebook, Carnage with a K, Carnage Welder, and we're also on Instagram and carnagewelder.com.
All right, thanks for sharing that with us.
You bet. Thank you.
You bet. See you on the trail.
Yep.
That's a pretty decent looking weld, man.
Wanted you to check out the new Willys Jeepster, and I can't say new because it's 1948. And so I got my good buddy Tim Ryan, who also has a Jeepster, but your Jeepster is a little bit newer than this Jeepster.
Hard to say a 50-plus-year-old vehicle's a newer, but yes, this is my Jeepster's grandfather, actually. This is just a timepiece. This is beautifully preserved, and it's a time capsule on wheels, man.
This Jeep, when it came out in 1948, the reviews on it were through the roof. Everyone thought this was going to be like the it vehicle. The problem was that Ford at the time was creating their coupe, and their coupe had all the luxuries and a V8 engine for just a few $100s more, and so there just weren't many of them sold. And so in the 3 years that the original Jeepster was made, there was only about 19,000 of these ever done, which makes it fairly rare. So in 1946, you had the CJ came out, which was the civilian Jeep. Now this in-house was called the VJ. Now the idea was this was going to be the veterans Jeep, the family car for all those veterans coming home that loved the Jeep so much that this was going to become the new family car. Didn't quite work out the way they expected. Anyway, wonderful vehicle, lots of fun to drive. Now you've driven it.
Oh yeah, we had a blast. We drove this all around Hurricane the other day, and it's just, man, it's like stepping back in time. Your body just kind of calms down. It's soothing, and it's just relaxing. It's just fun, easy to drive too. You got a 3 on the tree column shift, and it just works flawlessly.
And it's super fast.
Yeah, about that. I'm not going to recommend an LS swap for this, however.
Okay, so the power plant on this Jeepster was actually the original flat 4 Go Devil. It was the exact same motor that they used in the Willys Overland Jeep for the military.
You know, in this one they've kept 2-wheel drive. They didn't hit that 4-wheel drive market like the CJs did. It was more, like you said, a family vehicle and trying to draw into that crowd and that market. But it's basically the same drivetrain in a 2-wheel drive form as the others, right? It just doesn't have a transfer case.
Pretty much.
Very simplistic design, and you know, parts are interchangeable from vehicle to vehicle, so it made it very easy. Kept the cost down.
Now, another thing that kept the cost down is the fact that the body style. But Willys did not own any kind of presses to press fenders and have that rounded look that some of the other motor companies did. And so that's why you have this square look and kind of the flat fender look like you did the military Jeeps. Now what they did, because they didn't have that, but they wanted to look a little bit more like a car than a war Jeep, is they got companies that were making washing machines at the time to stamp out the fenders. And that's how the fenders came to be, is they were stamped out by these manufacturers that made washers and dryers.
It's so unique. The whole character of it is just unique. Their angles, everything, the fit and finish, it's just unique.
So let's go ahead and head around the car and take a look at the front of the vehicle. Now, we have great trim on the front, and one of the things I really love is the chrome trim. Now that chrome trim, how it kind of curves up the side, it's just, to me, that's beautiful. One of the things that Tim pointed out to me was the steering wheel.
That was the first thing I was drawn to, not only the color, but the condition. If you look at that steering wheel, that horn ring in the center, they're usually busted on any of those vehicles in the 40s and 50s that had a chrome thin ring, horn ring like that. You just can't find them in good shape anymore. And that was the first thing that drew me to that, just amazing preservation. Not to mention the quality of the seats. And we probably went for, 20-30 mile drive today, and it was extremely comfortable too.
It even has, if you look down here inside towards the foot panels, you'll notice that it has the heater box in. I've talked to several people that own the old Jeepsters, and none of them have that heater box. So that's another thing that's kind of rare to the vehicle. So to get in, for a passenger to get into this vehicle, you had 2 options. Now one of those options was of course the old jumpsuit, which ended up being in a lot of different vehicles, but what none of them had, but the Jeepster had, was the steps. Now say you already have people in the vehicle and you have the top down. The way you got into the vehicle is you could just step over and into the back seat. Now the steps came on both sides of the vehicle, so that you didn't have to slide over. You just step out of the vehicle. It was kind of a cool concept and one of the neat things about the car. Now one of the things that I really love is all the hubcaps are original, but the rear is the best. This is an original tire from way back when. It's a nylon tire, and of course you will not find nylon tires on the road today. They were a horrible tire, but an original in almost mint condition hubcap and original tires. So we will definitely be keeping that. That will not be coming off the vehicle. So anyway, that's our 1948 Willys Jeepster that we brought here to the Winter 4x4 Jamboree. So
it's an amazing piece. Thanks for sharing it with us. Thanks for letting me drive it around the valley, because that was quite a treat.
Not a problem.
All right, we're here at the Metal Club Flex Trailer. We're gonna see how well we can flex. Ready? Flex!
enjoying this episode of KrawlZone, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. We're always active on those feeds. And if you're doing anything cool, be sure to tag us. We'd like to see where you're wheeling.
Double Sammy, I guess, and we're gonna find out if this Jupe can get off the road.
So we're here at Winter 4x4 Jamboree, Sand Hollow, Utah. We're on Double Sammy Trail. We got our Project KJ out here. It's run this trail a few times. I've never driven it on this trail, so we'll have some fun with it and kind of start the day off right. Yeah, so this is a 2000s Jeep Liberty. It is a factory CRD diesel. A lot of people don't know that.
All right, we're up here with Justin and crew, BDS, JKS Zone Off-Road, and we're gonna, I don't know, this old Jupe, it sounds a little funny when we're out on the sands at high RPM, so we'll see what, I don't even know if it'll go up this first obstacle, this gatekeeper. We'll find out.
Our fourth year getting to come out to Winter 4x4 Jamboree. It's bigger every year. Out here, the trails are just amazing out here. You know, it's one of those deals. I get out here once a year, so 4 times I've been here. This is such a big place to wheel. I've seen maybe a 10th of it. The 10th I've seen, absolutely amazing. It's a little hidden gem. Project KJ was built for Ultimate Adventure. It's kind of been a flagship vehicle for us for a while. And then we made a slight suspension modification to it, where we took all the suspension out from underneath of it and plated up the unibody structure really well and put Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, so JK Rubicon axles and transfer case in it, some Fox coilovers, and then our off-the-shelf JK long arm kit is actually grafted into this thing. And so it's running a BDS JK long arm setup, 40-inch middos, bad bead locks. You know, I mean, this thing is just an absolute beast. One more passenger. Yeah, so a great day on the trail. We went out and ran double Sammy with KrawlZone. We had our Project KJ with us, and of course the KrawlZone YJ, and just really kind of a good little run through the trail, checking out a bunch of other rigs and enjoying the obstacles.
Tell me a little bit more. I know JKS, BDS, Zone Off-Road, Fox, you're all kind of part of the same family of companies. How's that all work?
Yeah, so there was a company called Sport Truck USA, and technically it still exists. So it created BDS Suspension and Zone Off-Road, and then acquired JKS Manufacturing. And then we worked really, really closely with the folks at Fox for a number of years for products in our kits. And a merger took place, and now we are part of the Fox Factory. So Fox Factory owns all of the brands, and we just work together developing great suspension to go along with their fantastic shock absorbers.
Right on. So what's the difference between the different companies? If you're all making very similar parts,
Sure.
How do you know which person should look at what company?
Sure. So BDS and Zone are full line companies. They offer everything from trucks to Jeeps and everything in between. BDS is a very hardcore, no questions asked warranty, coilover conversions for full-size 3/4 ton trucks and half-ton trucks, and big long arm kits for Jeeps and just hardcore stuff. A Zone is going to be for your more budget-minded project, and then JKS is just Jeep. So JKS focuses on just Jeep. We're very much focused on dual sport Jeeps, meaning drive it to the trail, wheel it really hard, and drive it home. Ride quality and performance is at a paramount.
Right on, right on. And so how closely do your engineers work on all of your products?
Yeah, so the geometry and engineering staff is going to be the same for all three brands. So even though your Zone Off-Road might be a more affordable line, that geometry is still such a way that it's not going to damage the vehicle. We're going to do everything, the right way versus just making it taller. And, that same will hold through for BDS and JKS as well.
We're all friends here at the show, and we like to share the love with everybody,
Yeah,
everybody,
Huh.
he went for the back. He went for the back.
When Steve Maxfield showed up with his eclectic collection of vehicles, we went over to check it out. And while he was unloading, he asked, "You want to take some of these for a spin?" And, well, yeah. Now, Steve Maxfield, while he got some really cool cars, the one that really caught our attention was the Jeep fleet van, the FJ3A.
What do you think, buddy?
I think it's bitchin'. Pretty whiz-bang.
This was built for the mail service, and afterwards, after they were decommissioned, they were all supposed to be destroyed. So now there are barely over 40 of them running around the country, and we got to take one for a spin.
Hey, little boy, want some ice cream? God, that thing is too fun to drive.
Yeah, that's cute, man. You look so cute in that.
Dude,
I'm glad you didn't steal any children.
I want it. I want it.
That's rad, man.
FJ3A.
FJ3A, huh?
Yeah. Man, I'm almost embarrassed to say I drove an FJ and liked it.
I don't think it's the same kind of FJ.
Right? Maybe that's why I liked it.
Someone rotted out, they put this in here.
The original oil light, gauge, speedometer, all that stuff works.
This is seriously cool. I love it.
I was missing one panel I had to make up.
If it were me, I would clear coat the whole thing just like you did.
And we are. We're going to preserve it.
Here comes Mr. KrawlZone, driving a Jeep fleet van.
Oh, the cool things we get to do.
Just let it run.
I gotta take it for a spin.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for this episode of KrawlZone. And until next time, remember, don't just live life, live epic. Have a good one. Oh shoot, that ain't even the right one.